So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. My name is Yemi Adelekan and I'm the EDN lead for Openreach. And today is our last event actually for the Black History Month. And we're ending on a really high note with Caleb Joseph. So for those of you who don't know who Caleb is, Caleb was in Junior MasterChef and was a semi-finalist, and we thought it would just be quite refreshing to have a man fronting our second cook along. Thank you for clapping for Caleb. So
Thank
well
you.
done, Caleb. So today Caleb will tell us what he's cooking, and then I'll tell you what I'm cooking alongside him. Because there's no point having sauce without something to mop the sauce with. So Caleb will do a brief introduction, tell us what he's cooking. I'll tell you what we're cooking, what I'm cooking, and then we'll kickstart.
Yeah,
So
so
welcome,
today,
Caleb.
thank you, appreciate it. So today I'm just cooking something light, to be honest. So it's a coconut curry prawn. So I'll just have some prawns, um, some curry powder, all-purpose seasoning, and coconut milk. So it comes into sort of like a stew. It doesn't take long. It's pretty simple. Everyone can pretty much do it as well. So yeah, that's what I'll be cooking today.
Okay, thank you, Caleb. And when Caleb told me he was going to be doing a prawn curry, I love fresh bread. So I just thought we can do the rice, but everybody is also over rice now. So we know we can
Mm,
all have rice with curry, but let's do some flat bread. So
yeah.
based on what we're going to do today, we're going to start. Well, I'm going to kickstart with my flatbread mixture, and that is simply because it needs time to rest. And so once I mix that, then Caleb would kickstart off with his curry. So for the flatbread, all I've got here is some self-raising flour, and that's 250 grams. For those who don't have the recipe, if you've signed up, you should have got the recipe. But just in case, the recipe is in the chat. So 250 grams of self-raising flour, and then some 200 gram of full-fat Greek yogurt, and just a pinch of salt. So my salt is in there, and then here's my yogurt. So I'm just going to put my yogurt in there. So I use a spatula. I mean, a spatula is one of the best things you need in the kitchen because it helps you to scrape every bit and you don't waste anything, which is useful when you're doing like baking, and because it needs to be precise. So if you've measured your ingredients, you don't want to leave any in the bowl, and that's how clean the bowl would be if you use a spatula. So that's my yogurt in there, and then all I have to do is mix that in. And I hope for those who are cooking, Asima, are you cooking with us today?
No, I'm not,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay, you're just
No,
watching today.
I'm observing.
So all I'm going to do now is like bring the flour with the yogurt together until it comes together as one. And for now, I'm not actually using my hand because I can get it coming together in a wooden with my wooden spatula. If it feels too dry, you can just add a tiny bit of yogurt, just a little bit more. Because sometimes the way your flour works or the dough depends on the type of flour, the maker. So sometimes it might look wet, and on some other recipes, that same dough might just take a bit. But I think mine is fine. So this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to bring it together with my hand. And what I love about making flatbread is that, especially when you make it with yogurt, is that it's so quick. You can get in from work, start the process if you've got some yogurt at home, start the process, go upstairs, change your clothes, come back down, and your bread will be almost ready to fry.
Yemi, in the chat, some people are asking for the recipe. Are we
So the
gonna send it
recipe,
after?
so the recipe is in the chat already. So they just need
Oh, is
to
it in
scroll
there?
up.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Dawn, can you not see it if you scroll up?
I'm
No.
not seeing it either, to be
I
honest.
can't
Yeah.
see
Oh,
it either,
okay.
no.
Okay, I'll drop it in.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
It was there a second
It
ago.
was, yeah. Okay.
And as I said, it comes together quite quickly, which it has done. And that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to knead it in the pan just to make sure it's all come together, it's smooth. And then once I'm happy with it, then I just leave it to rest for like 20 minutes. At this stage, the other thing that I could do is maybe add some onion seeds or what they call Nigella seeds. So we've all had naan bread with those black bits. So those are onion seeds or Nigella seed. So that's my dough done. So I'm going to cover this and leave it to rest. And then Caleb will kickstart the rest of the recipe.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So yeah, what we're gonna start with is just the prawns, to be honest. We'll just quickly season the prawns and then we'll just let that sort of marinate for about 5 minutes or so. And yeah, the seasoning for the prawns is pretty simple, to be honest. It's literally just a bit of all-purpose seasoning. This brand's called Maggi. It's like a Caribbean all-purpose seasoning from Jamaica, but you can find it in a lot of like stores in Birmingham or London or wherever you are, to be honest. And then the curry powder I'm using is called Better Pack. I prefer this one, to be honest. I just feel like the ingredients are quite subtle and it just goes well with like all-purpose seasoning, any meat or fish that you're making. So I'll quickly season this. If you lot can see here, I'll put about tablespoon, teaspoon of this in there.
So Caleb, I've got a question. So on the
Yeah,
recipe, you
yeah.
asked for Argentine prawns. Is that a reason? Because all I got was Honduras prawn. So
No, that's fine. Yeah, so Argentine prawns, they're a bit thicker.
okay.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of different types of prawns. So there's Argentine prawns, there's like king prawns, like tiny little prawns. But Argentine prawns, you can buy them from Lidl or you can buy them from Aldi, I believe. I bought mine from Lidl, and they're about £3. I think they're about £3. And there's 250 grams in here. So there's 250 grams of Argentine prawns in this bowl here, and they're roughly about £3. I think 3.79 at max. But I just feel like Argentine prawns, when you like actually bite into them, it's just a bit more juicy, personally. So that's why I prefer these.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, they hold their shape better as well, like
Okay.
whilst they're cooking. Yeah. So I'll put some all-purpose seasoning in, and then I'll go in with a little bit of curry powder as well.
Okay.
I'll just get a little spoon here. Let's put a bit of curry powder. Lovely.
So those are the only two things I'm putting in.
Yeah.
Just the
So it's
curry
literally,
powder and the all-purpose.
yeah, literally just the curry powder and all-purpose, and that's it.
Okay.
Because all-purpose has a load of different seasonings in it anyway, so you don't really need to go heavy on seasoning with this. And I'll just mix that together with a spoon, to be honest. You can mix with your hands if you've got gloves. Obviously, curry will stay in your hands, so yeah, I'm just gonna mix this with a spoon.
Okay.
Like that. And then once I'm done with this, I'll literally just put it to the side. Whilst I quickly chop up the onions, um, the ginger, and some coriander as well.
Okay. While you do that, I'm going to add a bit more curry to mine because I realize I've used half a teaspoon and it calls for half a tablespoon.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I noticed that yours is a lot more yellow than mine. And that was my
Yeah.
first clue
To
to
be
check the
honest,
recipe.
yeah, at this part, because obviously we're still gonna add the curry powder to the soup, so the coconut milk as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be fine. Obviously, you can add a little bit more if you want that color as well.
Okay, I've done that.
Normally, when I'm cooking, I always like pretty much season by like eye. It's just I go off
Mm,
intuition really. Um, but obviously, yeah, with this, you just got to be a bit more accurate, obviously, because if anyone else wants to cook it, at least you have some measurements to go off.
yeah. Okay.
So that's that season.
Okay.
And
Mine
I'll
is
literally just
seasoned.
put this to the side.
Yeah.
So I'll put this over here by the stove, and then I'll quickly just chop up some shallots. So shallots are like sort of they're like onions, but I find them just a bit more sharper personally.
Okay.
But I like shallots. You can buy these from Asda, Aldi, Asda and Aldi so far that I've realized. But I bought mine from Aldi, and they're pretty
Okay.
cheap as well. They're definitely under £1.
Yeah.
So I'll quickly chop this up. I'll dice it quite small. So I'll make little slits here across long ways.
So
Not
what I
too
can do
deep.
is show the difference between the shallots. So that's the shallots is a bit long and pointed,
Yeah, they're quite
and
long.
then the onion is a lot rounder. So for this recipe, I've used the onion, but yeah, I could have used the shallots as well. So that's good.
Yeah, lovely. So you don't got to worry about it being too like diced up. As long as most of it's diced up nicely, then that's fine. So we'll pretty much use half of this shallot. I've cut in half already. It comes with like a whole, but I've cut mine in half. So we'll
Okay.
just use about half of one. So pretty much about this much. That should be fine. I've got some ginger here that I've already I've used a spoon to sort of take off the outer skin. We won't use all of this ginger because it's quite sharp. I'll just put the shallots on a plate here.
And if people are wondering if I'm just watching, it's because I've already done all my prep. So I've got my onion, I've got my ginger as well. So that's why I've saved myself a job on screen.
Yeah.
So just a question, like from a flavor point of view, like shallots versus onion, um, is there any reason
hmm
why you're using shallots for this curry? Did you already cover
Um,
this?
yeah, so personally with you can use shallots for if like your recipe calls for any sort of onions, you can use shallots. A lot of
Mm,
people just tend to use shallots just instead of like white onions or red onions. I just feel like the flavors are just a bit more sharper to be honest.
okay.
That's pretty much all it is. It's just a bit more of a sharper flavor. Um, it's easier to cut as well. Yeah, they're easier to cut. Um, and yeah, I just prefer shallots. Obviously, sometimes I do use red onions, so I never really cook with white onions. I like red onions because I just feel like that's quite more sharper as well. Um, so let's
So
say I'm making like a stew chicken or like a curry chicken that's gonna cook for long. I'll use like red onions. Um, and I wouldn't use shallots, but for this, I just thought shallots they're nice and quick. So I'll just use these.
I think a lot of recipes that call for shallots tends to be like if you want like a softer, sweeter flavor, you can get that quickly with shallots. Whereas with onions, before you can get the sweetness out of the onion, you have to take it to the caramelization stage. But with shallot, you can get the sweetness and then you can get a lot milder flavor if you
Yeah.
cook shallots for just a few minutes. So I tend to use a combination of both. It depends on what I'm cooking. But if I do potatoes, I like to saute some shallots and finish my potatoes in that.
Mm,
And they are just so
yeah,
much
that makes
easier
sense.
to dice into really fine pieces, a lot easier to
Yeah.
dice than onions. So if you wanted like super fine, really super fine, almost like a grated consistency, then it's easier to dice shallots to that level.
So in the process of seasoning the prawns, could you use like dry chili as well as using
The
the
all-purpose
the all-purpose,
and
and
the
you
curry.
also used was it chili, not chili powder?
Curry powder, was it?
Oh, the
Curry
curry
powder,
powder.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use dried chili. Obviously, chili is gonna give a bit of heat to it. So yeah, if you're someone that likes it a bit spicy, then yeah, by all means you can add a little bit and obviously try it out. But like with cooking, you can be as open-minded as you want, to be honest. So you don't always have to follow a recipe step by step. Like if you feel like if you feel like you want to add something else extra, then by all means 100% do it, because you might achieve a flavor that you like.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
The only thing I would say when you're using chilies, and if you are going to fry the prawns at high heat, then you might want to leave the chilies until you've already started the frying, because otherwise some chilies might burn and then go bitter. And then it could go bitter. Yeah. But if you're just going to fry for like 90 seconds, which most prawns would cook, if the heat is high enough, prawns would cook in like 60 to 90 seconds anyway. So you could add the chili. But if your heat level isn't that great and your chili is going to be in the hot oil for too long, it could burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Yemi. That's a good tip.
Yeah. I love cooking with chili, so.
You can always use.
And then if you are using fresh chilies, again, that's slightly different, because the dried one is already dry, which is why it burns quickly. Whereas the fresh chili still has a bit of moisture. So the moisture would first dry off before there's a risk of burning.
Right. Okay.
So if it was fresh chilies, you might be able to start the process at the same time.
All right. Excellent. Thanks, Yemi.
If you want heat as well, you can always just add in some black pepper as well. Yeah, if you want a bit of heat, you can always add in black pepper, because it's not really gonna burn or anything.
And if you want a lot of heat, look for Cameroon pepper.
Yeah, I didn't even try that.
What they say, fire.
Lovely. So
I have a pepper here that if I open the tub, I start sneezing immediately. That's how hot it is.
So yeah, the shallots and gingers cut up. So what I'll quickly do is just dice up a little bit of coriander, because that just goes at the top, to be honest. So it's just as a garnish. So we'll just dice that up now whilst I'm at the chopping board anyways. And yeah, we'll just set it aside. So once I've plated up, I can just quickly throw it over. Just dice up a little bit of this. Obviously with coriander as well, you can even incorporate it within the soup as well. But yeah, with this, I'll just throw it at the top, literally at the ending. So I'll sort of branch it up and just dice it on me.
So I'm just going to prep my coriander as well, because I'm using it both for the sauce and for the bread. So.
And I'll just put it into like a little bowl. I think what I realized about cooking as well is that like getting out your ingredients like beforehand is a very good idea as well, because everything's just more organized. So once you've got sort of everything just set out, and you can kind of cook more fluidly. I think the French term's called mise en place, where everything sort of, all your elements are set out. So you can just cook a bit more fluidly. So yeah, that's literally all the chopping that we need to do today. Shallots, bit of ginger, and then the coriander to go at the top, and then everything else is literally going to be at the hob. So I can move this side and.
So Caleb, tell us a little bit about your time on Junior MasterChef.
Yeah. So.
What made you apply?
So to be honest, I already do content creation on like Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. So like all my cooking that I do, I literally I film it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, and it got a good amount of traction as well. So I got like a decent amount of followers and views and stuff. So last year, someone actually reached out to me on Instagram, and they basically said, how would I feel going on Junior MasterChef? At first, I was a bit skeptical. I was just like, I don't think it's for me because I'm not really a camera guy like that, to be honest. I'm very laid back. I'm very much laid back, and I don't really like too much attention on me, to be honest. So at first, I think I told him no. I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. But I spoke to some of my friends, and they said, yeah, like just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? So yeah, long story short, I ended up just saying yes, just signing stuff, having a few like meetings, and then August of last year, that's when we started filming.
Okay.
And yeah, it was literally like a last minute thing. Like when I found out I was going on it, it was literally a last minute thing. So I don't really have a lot of time to prepare. But yeah, we filmed in London. And we'd film for like 4 days straight. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll go back to Birmingham because I live in Birmingham. And then yeah, we'd literally film like this. I think we started with 9 people, and they'll pretty much drop someone out like each round. And yeah, at the start it was going well. Like I was doing good. I was doing really good. So, I mean, it was tough, but at the same time, it was a good experience. Because it just took me out of my comfort zone, to be honest. Literally, it just took me out of my comfort zone. It was just something different. So I was there until the semi-final. So there was literally 4 of us left. And the next round would have been the finals. So I had a pastry challenge. I had a pastry challenge, and that was the one that took me out of the contest. Because the filling, I made something called I think it was cream puff. Or profiteroles, that's what they call it as well. Yeah. So the pastry inside it, I filled it with like a vanilla cream, and it was too sweet. So that's what took me out. And the worst thing about it is that I made that decision last minute because I was gonna put the vanilla at the top and put a whipped cream inside the profiterole, but then I just changed it last minute. It was so silly. And then literally. But all in all, it was a good experience. Like I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Like I made a lot of friends. I still keep in touch with them today. So it was good. It was good.
Oh, that's
literally.
Good.
Yeah.
So has that series actually aired already?
Yeah. So that aired January this year. Yeah, January. I think it came out January the 4th of this of 2024. That came out. So you can watch it on BBC iPlayer. You have to look for Junior MasterChef, season 2. Yeah, season 2.
Okay, all right.
And
thanks.
you can watch that.
I have a question for you.
Said, wow, you got headhunted, and I think a lot of the Junior Master Chefs, they actually get hunted because they look for people that already have a presence. So that's love. That's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what's next?
I think someone had a question.
Okay.
Someone said they had a question.
Oh, please go on.
Yeah, so I was going to say, someone was asking, is it possible to have your Instagram name, Caleb, please?
Oh, yeah. I'll type it in. I'll type it in the chat. I've typed it in. Let me know if you can see that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so that's the Instagram name.
Okay, so what are we doing next, Caleb?
So, we'll go over to the hub, and we'll pretty much just start.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll just quickly move this so you can see clearly. So what I realized with if we was using raw garlic, I would always put it in a cold pan, because I realized when you put cold garlic in, it doesn't actually burn. It doesn't really burn, to be honest. But obviously, we're just going to use some garlic paste, as you can see. And yeah, we'll just go in with that. We'll start with some oil. I'm using some olive oil. I'll just use a bit. It's garlic infused olive oil, but you can use vegetable oil or any sort of neutral oil. We're not doing like high heat cooking, so we can use olive oil. We'll start off with a little bit, probably about a tablespoon and a bit. And it's literally just to saute the vegetables that we chopped up earlier.
So we're going in with 1 tablespoon of garlic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start with that. I think for me, I really love garlic. Literally, I think everything that I cook, like it pretty much always has garlic in it.
Are you not planning to kiss anyone tonight?
I'm not, unfortunately. I'm not.
Okay, we can go in with a little bit extra then.
Yeah, exactly. There's never too much garlic. So we'll just let that come out to heat.
So have you gone in with your ginger as well as pimento seeds?
Yeah, so I'm gonna come up with that now.
Yeah.
I'll just get the garlic in there. So pimento seeds, if you can see, there's some seeds. These are from Jamaica. I got a friend to bring me back some, but you can get them in the UK. But they're sort of like a nutmeggy mixture, nutmeg cinnamon sort of taste. A lot of Jamaicans use this in their cooking. And yeah, we'll just start with that and throw them in. If you don't have pimento seeds, you can buy pimento powder. So it's just a powder form. And you can
it's
put
called
probably about
allspice.
Yeah, allspice. You can probably put like a half a tablespoon in there. And yeah, that's that. And then we'll go in with the stuff that we chopped earlier. Throw that in.
So I'm going in with my ginger, which is 1 teaspoon. Okay.
And
So at this point, going with a tiny bit of oil as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't need a lot of oil.
We'll just sort of bring the flavor out at this point. What I'm also gonna do is add some thyme at this point, because thyme, it can withhold long cooking. So I add a little bit of thyme at this point. On the recipe card, it does say add the thyme later, but I'll tweak this a bit and just add the thyme in from now, just so it sort of seeps into the oil as well.
Yeah.
So I add.
Okay. And can you use fresh thyme, or is it better to just use dried one?
Yeah, you can definitely use the fresh thyme, the thyme on the stick. You can 100% use that. Obviously, just for practicality, I just thought I'd just get the dried thyme. It's just quicker. You can find it in like Lidl, Aldi, wherever. But yeah, you can definitely use fresh thyme on the stick.
Okay.
So we'll do this over low heat, like a low to medium heat, and just to sort of bring out that aroma.
Yep.
Probably do this for about 2 to 3 minutes.
The color looks a little bit dark.
Say that again?
I said the color looks a little bit dark.
Oh, it looks dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still need to add our curry powder in here as well.
Yeah.
Have you added
your onions? Because my onion is not yet in.
Yeah, so for you, add your onions in now.
Okay.
Yeah, add your onions in. I'm starting already to smell some good flavors, which is a good sign.
So tell us about some of the things you cooked on MasterChef. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so
what
to be honest,
what was your first dish?
So my first dish was a curry chicken, actually. It was a curry chicken. Let me quickly add this powder in. We'll add a little
Yeah.
bit of the curry powder. So we'll add a little bit of curry powder, and then let that quickly cook down for a couple. Because you always want to add the curry powder with the oil and just burn your curry off.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first dish that I cooked on MasterChef was it was a curry chicken actually. It was around where they pretty much said we have to go to, I think it was Tesco or Asda, and we've got like a budget between a group of, I think it was 3 of us. So they gave us like a little budget, and they basically said, yeah, go to Asda or Tesco, I forgot which one it was, and then they basically said, yeah, you have to pick something, buy ingredients and bring it back and cook it.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought I'm confident at cooking like a good curry chicken. So yeah, that's what I pretty much done. I just bought some chicken thighs, some cabbage for the coleslaw, and just a few other ingredients. And yeah, we came back and then I made curry chicken with plantain, some white rice and some coleslaw.
Oh.
So that round was pretty strong for me as well because 2 of us got immunity from the second challenge. So me and another guy called Lewis, we both done good in that first round, so we couldn't get eliminated on the second challenge.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was good. That gave me a nice little boost of confidence. And yeah. So this curry powder is sort of burned off a little bit. So what I'll do is I add a little bit of these chopped tomatoes.
Yeah.
We will probably add about a tablespoon, not too much. Just add that in there and just bring that flavor out. The tomato has a bit of acid in it, which is good.
Yeah. So one of the things I always have at home is like canned chopped tomatoes and I always have fresh tomatoes as well. But for today, I thought I use the Valfruta brand, which is quite good.
Yeah, definitely. Tomatoes are lovely. Literally.
Yeah. It's an ingredient that's in my kitchen. I use that almost in every dish.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So my tomato has gone in.
The tomato's gone in, yeah. So
yeah.
You stir that together now. You stir that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to release the aroma from that tomato. We'll stay here for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we're doing now is just building that flavor up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to just add everything all at once and then just throw in like the coconut milk. You want to sort of like build the flavor with the oil as well.
Yeah.
And then this is on low heat as well, by the way.
Yeah,
mine is on low heat.
Yeah, mine is on low heat as well. Okay. So what was your favorite dish to cook that you cooked on the show? Sweet and savory.
To be honest, I'd probably say it was the curry chicken, you know. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say it was the curry chicken, yeah. I probably had I had a round where we had to do like a content creator round. So we had to film ourselves cooking and then edit the video and then show it at the end. So yeah, that I cooked some tamarind braised prawns. So I fried up some prawns in a batter. And I made like a tamarind sauce.
Yeah.
And then threw it over the prawns with some fried rice. And obviously that inspiration was from when I was in Thailand. Obviously they used a lot of like tamarind and they had the best fried rice I've ever tasted. Literally, like when we was over there, I was like eating fried rice all the time. So there was one time I think it was the first day I went to this restaurant over in it was in Phuket, Thailand. If anyone goes, there's a restaurant that I can definitely recommend you. It's nice. And I think when I had that fried rice, I literally went to the back and I was just like, oh, I need the recipe for this. So obviously the chefs at the back, they showed me all the stuff that they used.
Yeah.
So I went to the supermarket out there and then I bought this chicken powder. and literally it's elite. Like it goes very, very well in your fried rice. It's one of those things where you can't just get it in the UK. You have to. I think it's on Amazon for about £10.
Ooh,
So
what's the name of the powder?
Forgot the name because obviously it's in Thai language. But obviously I can find it. I can find it. But yeah, the chicken powder is really nice. Literally unique. We'll quickly add these prawns in here.
Okay.
We'll add these prawns in here. We'll just that down for a quick minute. Sort of
I'm going in with
that.
my prawns as well.
Yeah. So we can burn off a bit of that curry. Would have used a deeper pot. You can use like a deeper pot in this part. And I should have, to be honest, but we're not gonna add too much coconut milk anyway, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, that looks good. And so tell us about the dessert you made on MasterChef.
The dessert. So I think the only dessert I made was the profiteroles, the cream puff.
Yeah.
On the semi-final round. I think my friend gave me the inspiration. And yeah, literally I went in with that. And it was, I think the hardest part of the profiteroles was the puff pastry. It was quite tough to make because it's one of those ones where it's like if you open the oven door, your pastry will collapse.
Yeah.
But luckily I got that part right, but it was just the filling is where it went wrong.
Yeah. And again, it has to be cold before you start adding the fillings in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we'll quickly add some coconut milk. We'll add about 300 milliliters.
Yeah.
This is a 400 ml can. Just add.
Are you using full fat or are you using light?
So this is a full fat coconut milk.
Yeah.
So it's not reduced or nothing. Yeah, it's just full fat coconut milk. It's just more of a authentic coconut flavor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would always say just go for the full fat coconut milk. There's so many different brands of coconut milk, literally. But this one is literally from I think it's from Aldi. Yeah, this is from Aldi.
Okay.
This one's from Aldi. Yeah, but you can buy that KTC brand. I think that's got more of a coconut percentage.
Yeah.
The KTC brand from my research and obviously buying different coconut milks. KTC brand has the most
coconut flavor.
The most percentage of coconut milk, which is good. So
depending on what I'm cooking, if I want to boost the coconut flavor, and if it's something that could also do with the texture, I add a bit of coconut flour.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So what we'll do now?
It will thicken the curry at the same time. You get the extra coconutty flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we'll quickly do now is we'll just season this. So we'll add about tablespoon all-purpose seasoning. Throw it in there. Obviously, seasoning's up to your preference. If you really season, you can add more, you can add less. But yeah, this is just a light, quick meal. We'll add some black pepper in.
Yeah.
This black pepper is quite strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we'll also add some sugar as well. I feel like from cooking curries, I feel like sugar goes quite well with curry.
Okay.
So I'll add a little bit of sugar.
It's just a tiny little bit though.
Yeah, just a little bit. And we'll just bring that together. Lovely. And so that's all the seasonings that we're literally gonna add. And curry prawns don't really take long to cook. So we're just gonna bring this to a simmer. It's pretty much at a simmer now. and I'm gonna turn the heat down quite low. And it shouldn't take more than about 7 minutes, really. The sauce is already starting to thicken.
Yeah. I think it
So
depends on
yeah,
it depends on the size of the curry because
yeah,
of the prawns, because usually once they turn pink, then they are cooked through.
yeah, literally.
So
Like I've known if some prawns can be cooked within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
yeah,
Like that's how quick prawns are. So it's one of those dishes where it's like if you just want to make something quick, as maybe even as a starter, then you can just make this this coconut prawn curry.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'll turn the heat down and yeah, we'll just let that sit quickly. And then yeah, we'll
So
be done.
and you will be done. And so now I'm gonna go back to my bread. I'm gonna move my curry so I can move my to another hob. So you guys might not see my curry again, but it's on. I've just moved it to another hob so I can have this hob for my pan and for my bread, and you guys can see what I'm going to be doing. So remember the dough we mixed earlier. So now I can make my flat bread.
Oh, question, Yemi, with
Yeah.
stuff like flatbreads and doughs and stuff, would you say that everything has to be quite precise, or is it one of those things where you can sort of throw it in and hope for the best? Would you say it has to be precise measurements?
For what? For bread?
But yeah, to make a bread.
Well, I think it depends on the bread. So for something like flat bread, I honestly wouldn't worry if you got the measurements wrong, because if it's too much yogurt, you just add a bit more flour. So if it's too
Okay.
soft, at the point at which you're rolling it out, you would flour the surface anyway. So a little bit more flour gets into the dough. And then if it's super soft, then you just add more flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always find that with cooking, you've just got to back yourself up and
Yeah.
really trust that most mistakes in the kitchen can be corrected. So
Yeah.
usually I try not to worry too much.
Yeah.
So I've got my dough, it's a bit on the soft side, but I knew I was going to flour the surface anyway. So I'm just going to roll it on here. Normally I roll it on another side. And just to have a bit of flavors, I can sometimes add like what am I thinking of? Like onions, like crispy onions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could add the Nigella seeds, as I said. You can add other herbs. So, and then sometimes I just do it by hand rather than using a rolling pin. But if you're new to rolling it out, then you might as well use your rolling pin. But they will usually say in Indian households that you shouldn't, that they believe that using a rolling pin would kind of flatten it out and let out all the rising agent.
Yeah.
So, and then in terms of thickness, again, if you make it too thin, you get like a slightly crispier, and if you make it a bit thick, you get a slightly harder consistency. So I go for somewhere in the middle, so where it still has a little bit of a bite. I think one of the most important things is the heat on your pan. You want your pan as hot as possible. If you have a good pan, you don't need oil, but sometimes I add just a tiny amount of oil. And then sometimes I add the oil to the dough, and that way I don't need to add any oil while I'm cooking it.
Whilst you're doing that as well, just to interject, I'll just say at this point, I'll just do a quick taste test as well. I think the most important thing whilst you're cooking as well is just always tasting your food as you go along. Because obviously you just want to make sure that your flavors that you want to achieve are there. So I'll just taste a bit of the curry. I'll put in this. And it's lovely.
It's beautiful.
Taste is banging.
Yeah. I didn't taste mine earlier because I felt like the prawns were still a bit raw. So I didn't want to taste it while the prawns were still raw.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to taste
Yeah,
it whilst
so
it's
you
still
need
raw.
to know the right time to taste your food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the taste. What I noticed is that like my curry looks it's a lot darker than yours, and
Okay, that's fine.
that could easily be because of the curry powder that I'm using. So I'm
Yeah.
using Caribbean curry powder, but you recommended a particular one.
Yeah, the better pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, better pack. Yeah,
So
this one's quite
I'm
good.
gonna try and find that brand and see how different it is. Because sometimes I use like roasted curry powder.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my curry's actually done now. It's
Yeah,
finished.
mine is
The
done
taste
as
is
well.
lovely. Yeah, I'm happy with the taste. So yeah, I'll just put mine aside for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny enough, actually, whilst I was on MasterChef, I did actually make flatbreads as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I made flatbreads because we had a challenge where we had to go to like this field somewhere, and we had to like they gave us a recipe and we had to barbecue food on the grill. They gave me a flatbread recipe with some like roasted peppers and a labneh. It was like a labneh yogurt sauce thing. But the flatbreads I actually messed up on that because after I rolled out my flatbreads and I stacked them up, I didn't put flour in between them. So I pretty much just threw them on top of each other, and I forgot to put flour in between each flatbread. So they basically stuck together.
They stuck together.
Yeah, they stuck together, and I was under like time pressure. So I literally had to grab the flatbreads and just like sort of roll them back out individually. And that was stressful. I can't lie, that was really stressful.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah.
It's a rookie mistake, and I think it's one of those things like on the show. There's so much pressure that if you're not careful, you would make mistakes that you wouldn't normally make.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing about cooking, and you can make some mistakes where on a normal day you might not make it, but once you're under pressure, like you just forget a lot of stuff.
So you can see my flatbread is bubbling up, which is like when you get the right heat level on it. So then that's the color. Hope people can see it.
Yemi, have you got a different camera lens or can't see it properly? Is there another?
Oh, can't you?
No.
I
think your other camera might have went off actually. Hold on. No, I can see it.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see your other camera because you've got two cameras on.
Yeah, I've got two cameras, so you've got to look at the right one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, Yemi's got two cameras on, so there's one showing like the hob and stuff. I think you might have to scroll.
So you can spotlight the one that's
Yeah, I can see it now. Thank you.
Yeah, just
spotlight it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So while that is going on, I'm going to quickly start to prep my dressing. So for my dressing, I've just got some olive oil. If you wanted, you could use melted butter.
Yeah. I wish I had those flatbreads with me now. I've already just got the curry. Literally.
Yeah, it does make a massive difference.
Yeah.
So with that, I've got what they call Za'atar. So Za'atar is like a Middle Eastern spice. So it has sesame seeds, oregano, some wild thyme, and just other spices. But it's really good for like flatbread. And then I'll add some honey.
Okay.
So and then sometimes I just add a tiny pinch of some gochujang, which is like some Korean chili flakes, and it just gives you that beautiful color.
Yeah.
So Yemi, you know that the honey and the za'atar or za'atar?
Yeah, Za'atar.
Are you gonna drizzle that on top after?
Yeah, on top of the bread.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're heating it up first, and then you drizzle it on.
Yeah, that's because it's cool. The honey is a little bit solidified.
Mm-hmm.
So all I want is just enough heat to melt the honey so that it blends well, it mixes well with the olive oil. And then it becomes a consistency that you can brush onto your bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it with like, I think like in Turkish breads.
Yeah.
And it is really nice.
It is very nice. It's a
flavors.
really lovely earthy spice. And then sometimes it has a little bit of salt. This version I'm using it for the first time because I got it from Turkey.
Okay.
So it's a little bit, hopefully it's a bit more authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Caleb, how are you thinking of plating your food?
To be honest, because I've just got the coconut curry prawn, I've got this like little bounty dish. I bought it from Asda a while ago, and
Okay.
it's stainless steel. So I'll literally just throw it in here and plate it like that. Throw some coriander at the top, and that will be it. It's literally that simple.
I'm gonna put mine into this bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah, stainless steel is it's definitely something that I like with cooking as well because it's just one of those things you can throw it in the oven. Obviously it can't go in the microwave, but throw it in the oven if you want to warm something up. Throw it in the oven for a little bit, just quickly bring it back to heat. It's kind of easy to clean as well. So I like stainless steel.
So
I'll just throw it in that. Eating it now quickly.
Okay, so I've got my za'atar dressing done. And then I'm going to go in with some of my fresh coriander into that dressing. I think I want some more specks of red. This is not a spicy chili. It just brings the color and just an extra touch.
Best part of this is biting into those prawns.
How does that look?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks lovely.
So
yeah, as you can see, you've got prawns here. You've got a good amount of gravy. Got coriander on top. Like that. And it's that simple, really.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Caleb? As we come to time.
Caleb, are you gonna have it with some rice then? How are you gonna eat?
Yeah, I might have to make some rice later on today. Yeah, I'm gonna make some rice later on today, to be honest. I'll just have that for my dinner. And that'll be it, really. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had the flatbreads.
Yeah.
But yeah, rice is fine. I've got enough gravy. So yeah, I'll just have it with some rice, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's the finished dish. And then I think some of the coriander also goes on my sauce.
Yeah.
And so that's mine. Voila.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Thank you very much.
Looks delicious, guys.
Thank you. And so thank you so much, Caleb, for joining us
No problem.
for this year. And well done on your achievement in Junior MasterChef.
Thank you.
And well done on your content creation. And great job. Thank you for joining us. And everyone, thank you as well. And again, a fantastic Black History Month that we've had this year. So I hope you guys remember that it's not just for the month. Every month of the year, we should remember our history. We should remember the history of everybody else. And at the end of the day, it's all about creating a great workplace for all of us. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'm looking forward to another cook along.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Just a quick one as well. If obviously if anyone wants like sort of catering and stuff, then yeah, definitely feel free to reach out to me. Obviously I've put my Instagram page and stuff so you can see like all the stuff that I've done in the past. I've done like little catering gigs here and there, private bookings. So yeah, just reach out. And yeah, I'll be more than happy. I live in Birmingham. I don't do too much work outside of Birmingham. Obviously, logistic wise, it's quite tough. So if you're in Birmingham and obviously you want some good food, then yeah, just reach out to me. And then I'll see what I could do, make something work together.
Thank
Caleb,
you,
we should have catered the event in Snow Hill.
Yeah,
That would have been.
Oh, I didn't even
That
know
would have
about
been
it, to be honest.
amazing.
The problem is that they don't
You know
allow
what?
us to bring in outside catering.
Yeah. Okay.
All
I
right.
literally just came back off holiday on Monday as well, so I was out of the loop. I was away for about 10 days, so I didn't even know about it.
Thank you.
But yeah.
I do a lot of food writing. I do events, but maybe not as much as Caleb. I pick and choose what I do. So I focus more on my food writing. But my Instagram handle is yummy_by_design. So anyway, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to another event soon. And this flatbread, you've got to try it. It's so good.
Yeah, no, this is banging, this curry, man.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate
Caleb.
everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thanks,
care.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yummy, I love your outfit as well. You look beautiful.
Thank you. That was what I was going to change to as my second outfit, but I didn't manage it on Monday. So that's why I thought I'll bring it out for today.
Bring it out today. Yeah, you look fab. You look fab.
You look beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to you both. Another good cook along.
Thank you.
Well done.
Cheers,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.